Good morning. I wanted to pop on and talk about something that I've talked about several times in the past, but it's one of those things that it needs to be brought up every so often, not only as a reminder, but also because you've got new people that come around from time to time. Firstly, I'm going to be making a video here soon. It's going to be a very basic level, a beginner level of preparedness video. And that's not necessarily targeted towards my YouTube followers. That's going to be made more for my local town because, in light of all of the recent storms and stuff like that, it seems like there's a little bit more interest in preparedness, and I want to try to dispel the fake preppers from people who are actually preparing, because there's a whole lot of people out there. It is what it is. They think they're preppers, but they're just hoarders. And a lot of these people, they went out and they've spent thousands upon thousands of dollars for stuff that they've never taken out of the package. These storms is a great reminder. Go to the power bank groups like EcoFlow, and I'm sure there are others, but I'm aware of the EcoFlow groups. Every time like a storm system like this moves through, you start seeing a bunch of posts by people saying, my EcoFlow, and I'm just using this brand because it's what I see, my EcoFlow won't work, right? And what you find out is they bought this thing a year and a half ago and went and put it on a shelf somewhere and never dug it out until they needed it. And then it didn't work. Well, even if they would have, I don't know, maybe read the manual, they would have known that you can't do that, that there is a maintenance cycle that you have to go through in order to make sure that that battery is going to perform as intended and expected. But you see it all the time. Every time a storm system or something moves through that, a lot of people are scrambling to find their alternative power, you get people popping up saying, well, I never used it. I bought it and I charged it all the way up and I set it on the shelf and pulled it out and it won't work. Well, yeah. So, the thing that I think is important is that people understand what real preparedness is. And it's not what you see a bunch of YouTubers doing. It's just not. It's not. It's not about keeping up with the Joneses. It's not about having the latest, greatest. It's not about... No, it's more about how to use that stuff. Knowing how to do that stuff. And even more importantly, how to do the stuff without all the fancy technology. So, anyway, I'm about 5 miles away from my topic at this point. So let me kind of, bring everything back in. And let me talk about... what I'm here for. Discernment. You've heard me mention it and talk about it time and time again because it's that important. Discernment. When you start getting around the preparedness genre, if you will, you'll inevitably run into a horde of conspiracy theorists. Okay? And there are a lot of people out there running around like their hair's on fire, spewing a bunch of nonsense, thinking that they're informing people, and they're just making themselves look like idiots. Discernment. Now let me explain this about discernment. In order to have discernment, you need to first gain something called wisdom. In order to have wisdom, you have to first earn something called experience. So your experience will bring you wisdom in time, and you in turn use that wisdom so you can discern. Okay? It's a pretty simple process, but it's not so simple to get there. So you get a lot of people that just spew a lot of nonsense because, I don't know, because it's what they want to believe, or they want to try to mystify something even more, right? So we just had these storms move through. And I had posted an image on Facebook from one of our local news stations that was talking about the weather system. And, they were just kind of giving an outline of what could be expected. So I figured, I'll post that so people know. Awareness, which is huge when it comes to weather threats. And so I had posted that, but I also added the caption, remember that time the crazy tinfoil hat wearing dude, meaning me, said that storms will get crazier and crazier? Preparedness Farms remembers. Just had to throw a little humor in there at the end. But I got a comment on that, and I'm not going to out the person who made the comment. This isn't about that. This isn't about bringing somebody else down. This is about hopefully making sure you're not as stupid as they are. So, kind of is what it is. So the comment was, I posted just an image of the outline of what could be expected from the storm. LOL, I know. I heard it all day and our county emergency management freak came out with it. I told him I don't like fear-mongering clickbait. He said, watch TV. I said we gave up on sensationalism for weather long ago. Well, now I will most certainly agree that there is like about 5 levels of fear that has been added to our weather reporters around the country. Now every storm's got to have a name and all of this stuff. And they do. Look back at the last couple of snowfalls we had. Man, they had people thinking that they weren't ever going to get out of their homes again. I get it. They do fearmonger. But the important part is having the discernment to understand when they're fearmongering and when they're not. And you're only going to get that by having wisdom. And you're only going to get that wisdom by having the experience of watching these storm systems. Now, I've been watching storm systems since I was a kid. I used to be scared to death of thunderstorms. Well, tornadoes, actually. And I was scared to death of them. I think I was in the 2nd grade when the tornado sirens, they would test the tornado sirens, first Tuesday every month. And I would go sit on the teacher's lap because I was so afraid to death. Even though it could be a clear, bright, sunny day, I was flipping out, right? If I heard those tornado sirens, it didn't matter. I was flipping out. I was scared to death of storms. Well, as I got older, once I got into junior high or so, I started reading about weather. And I started learning about weather systems. And I continued that up until now. I still do it. And storms don't scare me now. Why? Because I've got that experience. That experience built wisdom. And that wisdom gave me discernment. So I don't get afraid of them at all. In fact, I like them. Kind of a weird 180, isn't it? I do. I love thunderstorms. I love nasty storms. I don't know. Now, when I was young, it was the scariest thing on earth. Today, it's one hell of a good adrenaline rush. So, first, let's address this county emergency management freak. You mean the one person that you're going to be hoping shows up in the event of a major disaster? You mean that freak? Interesting. Interesting how that works. I could make this a lot more personal, but I'm not. They should know better. They should come down off their cloud, and they should know better. 13 people, the last I saw numbers, that died in between, I think it was Arkansas and Missouri. 19 tornadoes spawned across Missouri the last time I heard. I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound much like fear-mongering clickbait. I posted a video yesterday of what we saw here, which really wasn't that big, but that hail was, It wasn't the size of the hail, it was how hard it was hitting the house. Had nothing to do with the size of it. It wasn't that big, but holy cow. And there are people with broken windows, and one lady looks like she had a really nice greenhouse. We're not talking about one with plastic BS wrapped around it. No, we're talking about glass greenhouse. Looked like it was really nice. And it looks like it's a pretty lost cause at this point. Hey, there are times that you just sit back and you take the information in and you accept it for what it is, like when they were warning about these storm systems. Are they going to overdo it on the fear and all? Yeah, because that sells. And that gets people to click. And that's really all that people care about today, is how much money they can make. It is very hard for somebody today looking for the truth to actually find that truth, because of all the vultures standing there waiting to see what scraps they can peck off of the poor peasant, right? It's sad. And the only way we fix this is to reject people like that. And I've been calling for that here for years. But nobody wants to do it. Why? Oh, because I like that guy. I like his videos. Oh, I like what he got. I like how he says it. Yeah? Do you like being retarded? Because you're retarded. It has nothing, factual information has nothing to do with whether or not you like somebody. I've said this before. An important skill to have is the ability to learn from someone that you do not like. Now, I had that skill forced upon me. It was either learn how to learn from somebody I don't like or be stupid. Because me and my dad were like oil and water. But I learned a hell of a lot from him throughout the years. A hell of a lot. I probably learned more by the time that I was an adult than most people learn in their entire lives. Just is what it is. It's not about how cool somebody is. It's not about how awesome of a production job they do on their content. It's about the information they're putting out. And if it's bad information, not any of that other stuff makes a damn bit of difference. But you can't explain that to society these days. You just can't. People will prioritize the most stupid reasons for doing things while leaving out of the entire equation the most important parts of whatever it is they're trying to achieve, or whatever the case may be. Discernment, folks. And, unfortunately, it takes a level of discernment to see the stuff that I'm telling you about. So, unfortunately, there's a lot of blind leading the blind out there. But look, use discernment. Don't let some Jimmy or Janie jackass make your decisions for you because of their conspiracies, or because you like how they talk, or you like this, or you like that, or that has nothing to do with the equation. If people are misleading you, if people are lying to you, they are doing you an injustice. They are doing a massive, massive injustice. Whether you like them or not, that doesn't even matter. Discernment, folks, and you're only going to get there by gaining wisdom, and you're only going to gain wisdom by gaining experience. I don't know. If you prepare, you got stuff on the shelf that you've never taken out of the box or don't know much of anything about it, today's the perfect day to take that off the shelf and learn. Work. Because there's no getting out of that. Work. You can work a little bit now, and win, or work a lot later and possibly fail. Again, that goes back to that's discernment. But to have that, you got to have the wisdom. You've got to have successes and failures, and you've got to have been somebody that done something on the spot and been somebody that has procrastinated. I've done a lot of both in my life, but I still do. And I still learn lessons from it. Damn it, I wished I would have taken care of that sooner. You know, a stitch in time saves 9 kind of thing. It's true. It's true. But you only learn that through that discernment. You only get that discernment from that wisdom, and you only gain that wisdom from experience. So get that box off the shelf, whatever the hell it may be in it, and learn how to use it. Learn how to do it. Whatever. But learn. Get out there and get her done. Don't know what else to tell people. But I'll close with this. If you've got this really cool conspiracy that's just bouncing around in your head, and you find the most absolute opportune time to post it on social media so you can, I don't know, whatever the hell you're into, but I don't get the point of it. It's an ego thing, I get it. I get that much of it. I think ego things are stupid. I think people that think egos are important are stupid. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how confident you are when you're stupid. Just like it doesn't matter how shy you are when you're smart. Usually the people that are out there out front with the loudest voices, they're usually the stupid ones. Just for reference. It works that way. It's just like the loudest bullies, right, are usually the weakest ones. It is what it is, right? People do this stuff to cover up their insecurities. It's a fact. Look it up. Oh, that's right. We're not supposed to talk about Freud anymore. He was a bad guy because he told the truth. Oh, we can't like him. We can't like him. That means his information is all false because we can't like him. Oh, no. No, Dr. Phil. We got to go with Dr. Phil for everything because, well, he's so cool and he hung out with Oprah Winfrey. And, yeah, because all of that bullshit matters. All of that bullshit matters. I guess it does if you want to live a Jerry Springer life. Shalom.